I'm going to call to order the September 3rd, 2024 meeting, regular meeting of the Chino Valley Planning and Zoning Commission. We have two members that are absent, but we do have a quorum. And would you please lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's that? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so just to acknowledge, we have the interim town manager, Terry Dimity. Did I say? Pardon me? Oh, oh, great. That's not a good sign. Anyways, welcome. Okay, so we're going to do the consent calendar, which is none. So we're going to move right into, oh, please silence your personal communication devices, which are called cell phones these days. We're going to move right into item D1, which is ZC 2024-05. This is a request by Christopher Barrett on behalf of LJCC Properties, LLC, for a rezone of approximately 3 acres of land from agricultural residential minimum 5 acre to single-family residential minimum 1 acre. Property is located at 772 West Road 1 North, Chino Valley, Arizona. Has anybody on the commission spoke to anybody about this project outside of this meeting? All right, we're ready.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Vice Chair and fellow commissioners. My name is Jessica Berrigan, Senior Planner for the Town of Chino Valley. Before you this evening is a rezone request for case number ZC 2024-05 by Mr. Barrett on behalf of LJCC Properties, LLC. This presentation will cover the request, analysis by staff, and recommendations to move forward. So we'll start by looking at the location of the property. The property in question is situated at 772 West Road 1 North in Chino Valley. As you can see here on the map, it's highlighted in red. The area is surrounded by residential uses. The property is currently zoned as agricultural residential, minimum 5 acre, AR5. And the applicant seeks to rezone approximately 3 acres of this. This parcel is 3 acres and it is to be rezoned SR1, single family residential, 1 acre minimum. Okay, this next slide shows the zoning map. As you can see, it is currently zoned AR5. The proposed zoning designation is rural residential. That's 1 dwelling unit an acre. Surrounding properties are a mix of AR5 and SR1. The zoning located to the east and to the west of the property is SR1. The zone would align with zoning. The rezone would align with the SR1 land use designation or land use zone, and would facilitate more consistent land use in the area. The next slide is from the general plan. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the Town of Chino Valley Make It Chino 2040 general plan. This plan designates the area for rural residential use. This supports the density of 1 dwelling unit an acre. Rezoning to SR1 would bring the property into alignment with this plan and promote the town's vision for growth and development. A neighborhood meeting was held for this project on August 1st, 2024. All properties within 300 feet, a foot radius were notified. One neighbor did attend the meeting and there was no concerns expressed over the rezone. With that being said, our staff does recommend that the Planning and Zoning Commission forward this rezoning request to the Town Council, a recommendation for approval, subject to the conditions outlined in Attachment A. These conditions will ensure that the development aligns with the town's regulations and addresses any potential future impacts. And here for you is Attachment A. This does conclude my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions. The applicant is here and does not have anything further to add. Thank you.
Anybody have questions for town staff? Okay, thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
The applicant, would you like to speak? You're not required to. If you don't want to speak, that's just dandy. Okay, thank you. But if any of us have a question, I will ask you to come up, so that's the next step. Anybody have questions for the applicant?
I have one.
Okay, would you mind stepping up for just a minute and state your name? Go ahead, Commissioner Penn.
My name's Christopher Barrett.
Will you be hooking up to town sewer and water?
No.
Is
Wait,
there,
there's 2 wells currently on the property.
okay, is there any, and this will be a question for the town engineer, is there any infrastructure anywhere close to this property?
I believe the short answer would be no.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think Center Street is as close as we get with sewer.
And it's surrounded by properties with septic systems and wells
Right,
on
and
all
it's-
sides.
1 acre minimum, you can fit a well and septic on there by town and state rules, so I think we're okay there.
Anything else, Commissioner Penn?
How many houses will you build on the 3 acres?
Currently, we were just wanting to do 2 houses, so 1 split if we get it rezoned. And that's because of kind of how the water flows through it. And it really doesn't fit very well to the property to try to squeeze 3 houses in there. So we just want to do 1 split if we get it rezoned. And
Anything else?
Nothing else.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oop, you got one first, town staff? Okay, let's do public comments first. We're gonna open up the public portion of this meeting. This is an opportunity for the public to speak on this item only at this portion of the meeting. If you come up to the microphone to speak, you raise your hand, I'll point you out, you come up, come state your name, and then you get 3 minutes to visit with us. So would anybody from the public like to come up and speak?
We don't have any cards? Okay.
All right, I'm going to close that portion of the meeting, and now we can ask questions of staff.
Has the flooding along from Messenger been addressed? I know we had issues with that in the past.
Yes, there is a zoning stipulation, recommended stipulation in there to have an engineer look at the finished floor elevations from this, and I think we can take care of it. I think they already started building 1 house, but I think we can work through it. I was just a little concerned once you add another house to the mix with the 3 acres, that limits where you can go with the water, but I think generally the water would go from the layout they proposed between the 2 houses, and we just want to make sure that it can have enough room to go that way if it needs to.
But
But
it'll come in and go out at the same spots it always has at the same rates.
Yes, sir. That it should, and if we get an engineer to look at it just to make sure we're good, that way we prevent any issues.
No, I've known in the past we've had people come in and complain about water coming out of that area and flooding, so.
Right, that's generally upstream of the road crossing. So, when we did study that road crossing,
Okay.
So, anybody else have any other questions for staff? All right. Seeing as how there was no public comment, we'll pass on the applicant visiting with them, and we're closing the public hearing portion. So, having listened to all the pertinent facts and comments and questions, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to move to approve rezone ZC 202405 as presented, subject to the staff report and information provided during this hearing and the conditions of approval in attachment A.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Anybody have any comments? All right. So we'll entertain a vote. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. I guess we don't have to explain the vote when we do that. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, we have no action items. We have information items from, is there anything from staff?
Just to let you know that we have no items in the queue for our October meeting. So because you guys did a meeting last week and one this week, and we're busy working on the solar ordinance, we are not proposing a work session for the Planning Commission in October.
Oh, come on. That's terrible.
So no
But
meeting
you will get
whatsoever.
a whole bunch of it in November, because that's when you're going to get the solar ordinance.
How about
Okay.
a study session with the solar committee?
I'm not sure that we will have it.
Just to even get P and Z's feet wet with what's going on.
We could do that if you want.
I'd
Well,
rather
if-
wait till the mud dries.
If a member of
I'm
the
just trying to
solar
think if we will
committee's
have it
saying that, we-
in writing and the solar committee seen it before we get to planning commission. But
It wouldn't have to necessarily even be about the ordinance. It could just be about everything we've,
so what that does though, because it would be a public meeting, is you would open it up to all of those people that showed up last time, that went to the Draconis meeting on Thursday. They would want to speak, and it wouldn't be an opportunity for their comments to get on record.
correct. That probably wouldn't be a good thing.
I thought October was going to be the livestock thing again.
Nope.
No, we pushed it. We're gathering other information from other areas, so we pushed it out of October.
We're trying to get standards of cleanliness versus number of animals. And if we can't get the standards of cleanliness, which we need very specific in order to do enforcement and have the courts uphold it, then we will have to do numbers. And people that own animals don't want us to give them numbers. So there's choices that has to happen, and there are people reaching out in the community to try and get that information for us.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that, all that, we're not gonna have a meeting in October is the final result.
Correct.
Okay, good. No offense.
November, we may have to choose a different venue based on the number of people that showed up to the solar meeting that Draconis hosted last Thursday. So we will be hunting for a place that can accommodate everyone in the room.
Wow.
We may have to see if another town nearby has council chambers that have at least 150 seats in it. Yeah, we can't just go anywhere because we have to record it. Can't always do the Facebook Live every place, which is what we try to do. But if we can't do that, we still have to be able to record it, and people have to be able to hear. And so if they don't have speakers, if they don't have microphones, if the room can't be set up that way, that is a no for us. So we will be hunting for a place.
And you'll keep us up to speed, I'm assuming.
Yes.
We could make it like down in Phoenix, and then a lot of people won't come.
We'll find a place.
School? School possibly.
We will look at that and see how the acoustics are. Sometimes the auditoriums are really hard to have these kinds of meetings. So we'll find a place. We'll let you know where we will be.
Cool. Any more questions for staff? Okay, so the next item is anything that the commission itself has to comment on or bring up in the meeting. This is that opportunity for that. Does anybody have anything they would like to state? Robert, when are you going to start with town council?
December 10th?
So November will be your last meeting then.
No, December, first Tuesday in
That's
December.
true. You get a December meeting with us.
Oh, so you'll be in December. Oh, you're gonna double dip. 2 paychecks,
Just
all
the
right.
10th, right?
Okay, so the next item is for the chairman to speak. Seeing as how we just had a meeting and I spoke a few things in, I'm gonna take a pass for my item. So now comes the F4. This is an opportunity for the public to speak about anything that's not on the agenda. And let me make that clear, not on the agenda, because we were sandbagged on the last meeting. So if you'd like to speak, you may come up, state your name. You have 3 minutes, and you can tell us what you're thinking. Anybody like to do that? Okay, we're done. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, staff.